All praises to Ahaya, Ashur, Ahaya, Bahashem, Yeshaya, walk or walk. Today I'd like to speak on the topic of the slave house Negro traits. Always we hear of the mammy or the bed wench. Well, let's talk about the slave house Negro wench. Now, these men were often uh, lighter than the rest of the slaves and quite fit, and they would often be there for the slave master's wife, quote unquote, when he was away. And many times you see in these videos, like the movie Life, that somehow, some way, when the baby is born, it's of a darker shade. And as in movies like Nat Turner, you have men that were set up and they began paying the slave master for keeping the slaves paid. But also Nat Turner received his portion of it. Then, when he saw the atrocities that were happening to his people, then he began to revolt. And why should it have to come to that when he shouldn't have took the silver pieces in the first place, like Judas? How Judas betrayed the Messiah. Then it was too late. Then you want to uprise. You should have thought about that money changer before you start selling out your people. And how does that apply today? Just look at Martin Luther King, the dream, Jesse Jackson and his African American, Creflo Dollar, pay me if you want to follow, TD Jakes, 50 G's a plate, King LeBron James, just play the game. He'll sell you out for a little piece of change. It's the same pattern. And usually what happens is that it ends up in death when they want to retreat, just like Judas. Judas went and he hung himself after he realized what he had done to the Messiah. Now you willingly have the house Negroes today that are willing to bow down to the slave master and pay the ultimate price to the God of this world, Satan himself, for 30 pieces of silver. You have so-called Hebrew Israelites that's supposed to be in the know that are money changing, doing the same thing. Let's not relegate this to the women. It started with the priests of the Most High first. That's the reason why we're not in the land. You want to take credit for everything else? Take credit for this as well. Eli and his sons. There was a woman there that was involved. She was killed too. But they were sleeping with women within the quarters of the Most High's building. The Most High had them killed. No different in the past and in today. Martin Luther King, the Dream, Malcolm X and his complex, they all had to bite to dust. But Jesse Jackson and his African American, they not only took the 30 pieces of silver and betrayed the Messiah, they're betraying their whole nation with a smile on their face and a knife in your back. These are the slave traits of a house Negro. And then you want to brag on how other nations want to lie down with you. Yeah, especially if you bowing down to Satan and getting 30 pieces of silver. After that, they're done with you. Ask Tiger Woods. Even though his mother was Asian, you are what your father is according to the book of Numbers. Look what happened with O.J. Simpson. I can talk on and on this subject, but it's a waste of time because people are not going to change. We're in the days of Noah, and the judgment is at hand. The Most High is fair. He said an unjust balance. He does not have any delight in that. If you're going to measure anything, you better measure it accordingly to the Most High, because unbalance is abomination to the Most High. Slave house Negro traits off the plantation, selling just a little bit of faith. I'm talking about the ones that the Pharisees and scribes supposed to be teachers of the Bible. Sell a little bit of faith. That's all it takes to put a smile on Master's face. Then you have some that are educated in such areas and have moved up on a social class. I'm educated, or wherever the case may be. I've served in Edom's army. The Bible states all of this, but I would never sell out my nation for 30 pieces of silver. I'd rather suffer like Moses did, rather to do so. Slave, house, Negro traits. Can you say the same thing about yourself? That's why I follow only one shepherd that was slain for the foundation of the world. And that is my Savior, Yeshua, whom is soon to return and establish righteousness on the face of the earth and take what is rightfully his from these slave house Negroes that are abusing the Bible for their own purposes. They're no different than master. Those who have an ear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Chicago, Virginia, the last standing. And for those who refuse to take part in the tree of life and to drink from the fountains of living water, let them be unjust still. And the bride say, come, Yeshua, come, thy kingdom come. Amen.